questions. 5, 10, 15, 19 questions, and I'm going to answer to you on basically a mortgage broker. What makes a great mortgage broker? And what are the legalities, compliance, reasons around all that makes up a mortgage broker? I've designed a mortgage broker checklist. So I'm going to go over all these questions and I'm going to debunk and answer them. But please download your guide. I have all the links. I've got numbers in there. I've got my CRN number in there, the ACL number, anything that you need to find out why you should be using a mortgage broker and what makes up a good mortgage broker. So, question 1. I'm going to read from here and then I'm going to answer. Does your company have an Australian credit license? Now, to be a mortgage broker, any mortgage broker today must work under what's called a credit license. The Australian credit license gives mortgage brokers who do not have a credit license to have what's called a credit representative number, which is what I have, and then I work under a credit license. So I am under compliance, my insurances and everything work under that banner. I'm still independent. I can still run my own mortgage business, but I'm also still compliant against that number. I've got to do the right thing by you and by me so that I can keep my job, obviously. Number 2, question 2. Are you formally audited by an independent compliance firm at least annually? Now, this is really important. Yes, we are. We do get audited all the time by a company called CompliFast. And the reason they have to do that is to make sure that I'm doing everything correct. Now, it's a really important thing to understand why this gets done. A lot of the reason is to make sure that your information is kept private, confidential, and that we're not sharing important things. Very much particularly for identity fraud, things like your tax file number. Has it been redacted? In other words, have we covered those things up? Do we keep any documents like are we keeping any documents that are not password protected? Or, so that if somebody got into my computer, I've got a lot of your private information, bank statements, driver's license, identification. All these things have to be stored in a very secure, private and confidential way. So we get audited at least annually on these things, and then they come back to us so that we can correct them or fix them. And if we have too many things happen, I can lose my representative number or work under somebody's credit license. There's also a list also on the FBAA membership site for anyone that has done a lot of these things who cannot work in the industry anymore. So I'll give you them to you a little bit later. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Question 3. Has your company been in operation for at least 10 years? Well, I can happily say that I'm brand new secondhand. I have been in a mortgage business with a family and been around the property and finance industry for about 22 years. I am now a mortgage broker, building a mortgage broker business by myself now, but I definitely have that experience. So that's why I'm brand new, but I'm secondhand. Anyway, so I was founded back in 2000 with a family business. I worked behind the scenes as client liaison, working with clients, lead generation, going to set up I used to run a women's property investing group as well. We did a lot of loans for a lot of people in that as well. So I kept myself very up to date and things like that. So there were other family members that were the loan writers and so forth, but now I do everything. So, yeah. But anyway, also the company that I work under with the credit license, they've been around for a very, very long time. So I've got a lot of very good support as well. Question 4. How many finance products do I compare against? All right, don't really want to know that, do you? Okay, so we have lots of lenders. So there's at least 50 plus lenders out there in the marketplace, and every lender will have 4, 5, up to 10 products. So if you add all that up, we have thousands of products. So we might be able to go to this lender, but this might not fit, but this product over here is with that lender. So this is what we do as mortgage brokers. So you come to us with your story, and then we find the right lending solution for you. Now, everybody's story is different. This is why it's so important. I class myself as a relationship broker. And the reason I do that is because I want to get to know you. What is your story? So that your story is going to always change. It's never going to stay the same. The world doesn't stay the same. The world keeps revolving, and so does your story. So this is why we need to find out, where are you today? Where are you going? So let's find a solution for you now, because you might be able to get this type of loan now, but you might be able to change your circumstances and then be able to do a better loan later. So it just depends on where you are in the market, and circumstances change all the time. This is why it's best to build a relationship with a broker that you trust and that can keep all your information private and confidential. This is what we have to do. And by doing that, we're building that relationship so that you can come to us with your family, your friends, and you feel confident enough to be able to do that because you've built that relationship. It's like going to a doctor. Once you've gone to your doctor, you've built that relationship with that doctor, and you trust that doctor because a lot of your stuff is very, very personal, and you've got to be vulnerable. So it's the same with your finances. I see it as it's like going to the doctor. It's incredibly private. You don't want to tell other people the real truth about your finances. So this is why it's really important to make sure that you build that relationship with your broker. Work with someone you're comfortable with. And I do my utmost best to be relatable. Okay, let's move on to another question. All right. So question 5. Are you a member of a credit or investment ombudsman, a free, impartial dispute resolution scheme to assist consumers to resolve complaints? Absolutely. We definitely do. So every time you come to see me, I have to give you a credit guide. Now, with the credit guide, it has all this information in there. So if you want to feel that you have a dispute or something, it's definitely worthwhile to reach out to your relationship broker or your mortgage broker and talk about these issues first. Don't be frightened to talk about these things, because even if you do go to the Credit Ombudsman Service, they will come back with this questionnaire, and then they've got to answer that. It goes back and forward until it's resolved. So it's conflict resolution, and these issues have to be resolved. But you do have somewhere where you can go. We must have that, definitely, to be able to offer any services to you. So you must be able to go somewhere to be able to make a complaint. But I would highly suggest reaching out first. Even if you do that, they will give you the instructions on what to do with that anyway. It will be in a credit guide. It is on my website as well, and all of my information if you need to reach out to any of these people. And even if you want to have a chat with them about somebody else or whatever, these services are available to a credit ombudsman, and having the information that's easy accessible for you to be able to contact them. All right, question 6. Do you have a formally published and available dispute resolution procedure? Absolutely. Of course we do. And so we got a company called AFCA that we work with, which is our dispute resolution. We have a procedure that goes with that, and I've just explained that to you. So I've actually just covered question 6. All right, question 7. Do you show me how much you get paid by the different lenders you work with? Of course we do. Absolutely. So I'm very, very transparent and upfront about how we get paid. Let me explain to you why does a mortgage broker offer free services? Why would a mortgage broker do that? So I'm going to go to a mortgage broker and have a look at my lending. And so why would they do that for free? They do it for free for the simple reason that whoever the lender you goes with, that you will go with or choose, as in your option, they get paid a commission from that lender. And we get a trial commission on the loan as well, which I'll explain to you in a minute. So what we do is you come to me, I'll do a fact find, I'll send you a credit guide, so then we can do all your documents, verify who you are and so forth. And then I'll put together what's called a credit preliminary assessment. In other words, this is your credit proposal. So doing this assessment, I'll go through all your information, how much you can borrow, which lender, having a look at credit policies, doing all these things. And then when we get to the end, I'll be able to offer you 3 loan options or so forth that suits your needs, best interest rate, best scenario, best lending solution for you with a recommendation. And I've got to disclose all this information. Now, this document's about 50 pages. There's a lot of information in there. And this is also what we do for pre-approvals today as well. Now, the reason we do a lot of this information is that when it does get to the bank, what you've chosen is to make sure that we have ticked off every single box to make sure that what we're doing is correct. Now, and then in this document, it will show you and break down exactly what commission split is. I've had a couple of people come back to me saying, why is such and such getting 20% and you're only getting 80%? And that's because I work under a credit license, so they take another small portion of my commission as well. But it was good that she came to me so I could explain that to her. And the reason also is I am very transparent about my income of what I'm going to earn on my commission on the loan that you're going to get. Now, with the trial commission, we get another small portion. It's exactly the same as like if you've got an investment property, just to say. And now with your investment property, you have a property manager looks after it. Now you're paying them a small portion every month to look after your investment property, right? Well, it's exactly the same with the loan. We get a trial commission because we're looking after you for the life of that loan. We're making sure we're checking everything. I'm keeping you up to date. Checking on the interest rates, anything new in the market. We're emailing you. We're keeping you up to date with anything. And that's what we do as an ongoing service to you. So if you can be offered a better interest rate, we monitor your loan and we monitor all these things. So we're not just getting the money for free. We're doing work for that loan. Well, most mortgage brokers should be doing some work for that loan. But as your mortgage broker, I'm definitely doing that. Okay. So if you need any more information about how I do service you as a forever free loan service, reach out and I'm quite happy to explain how that works. Okay. So do you show me how much you get paid by the different lenders you work with? I think I just explained that. Yes, there are different commissions as well, but it's all explained in the preliminary that you go through. All right. Question 8. Do you provide me with a credit guide? Well, we just had lots of conversations about this already. Yes, I do provide you with a credit guide. Now, with the credit guide, I can give you a credit guide, and by law, I have to give you this credit guide, is because if we're talking finance, that's a private issue. So, and a confidential one as well. So I have to give you the credit guide. Now, inside the credit guide are all the things we talked about. My membership, my CRN, my conflict resolution. If you need to contact the credit ombudsman, all that information you need will be in the credit guide. So lots of information in there, but it has to be given to you. Now, also there'll be one that might have a privacy statement. So it's credit guide, privacy statement and authority. Authority means if you sign the credit guide, it means that I'm able to organise a credit report on your behalf. Now, organising or ordering a credit report doesn't mean your credit report is going to be hit. Doesn't mean there's going to be an extra inquiry on your credit report. It's just something that we need to say, hey, you might tell me, no, I haven't had any loans. No, I haven't had any late repayments. But we need to verify all this information, and the only way to do that is to have your credit report. We're just looking over it to see what it is. There's no touches on it as a mortgage broker, but when you do go through and you've chosen a loan option and it goes to the lender, that credit report, we can't do anything without it. So it has to go with all your documents as well. So that's answering that question. All right, so let's move on. Question 9. Do you have a formally published and available privacy and security policy? Absolutely. Now, in the guide, also, I've got links to all these things if you need. I've also got this on my website, the privacy security policy and so forth, and it's definitely there. I'm not going to go too much into that, but there's some information there if you want to read on the checklist. It's a good idea to have the checklist so you can go over these things. So maybe if you don't want to deal with me, you want to deal with another mortgage broker and you want to ask some of these questions. Hey, do you have this? What's your number for that? Where's your credit guide? So you can ask some of these questions. Question 10. Getting there. Is the finance company you work for wholly or partially owned by our bank? Okay, answer this question. No, I'm not. I'm not partially owned by any bank. I am independent. I have my certificates doing diploma in financial services. We've got to be a member of FBAA. I've got to be involved with an aggregator. I've got to work under a credit license. I've got to have quite a lot of things in place. So even though I am independent, I also have a lot of things in place. So we are completely privately owned, and I've partnered with Australian Finance Group. Now, they are an aggregator. Now, how the aggregator works is they have all the lenders on their panel. So I'm not just working for CBA or Bank West or Westpac or NAB or whatever. I have access to lots of lenders. This is really good information for you because I work in your favour to find the right lending solution for you. So I'm not got KPIs or anything with, I've got to write $3 million for CommBank this month and I've got to write $2 million worth for NAB next week or next month or whatever. So it doesn't matter. I might not write a loan with NAB for 18 months and then I might do 18 loans in 3 months. So it depends on the client, what their needs are, and it's a lot less stress on you, a lot less stress on me. So we work under an aggregator that has all these lenders sitting on their panel that I have access to. I still do need to be accredited with every single lender on my panel as well. There might be 80 on there, but I might only be accredited with 56 of them. And the reason so is some of these other lenders, I might not have any clients come to me for those sorts of things. And, it might be for just someone out of my scope or whatever. So anyway, moving on. Question 11. Are you a member of the Mortgage and Finance Association or Finance Brokers Association? Now, these are associations that we need to be in. So these people go out and are advocates for our industry, and we are members of them. So they help us with lending, loans. They help us more or less with the compliance side of things, looking after mortgage brokers. And so the reason they do this, and I've just been to a conference, which is really good, by the way. We've got another one coming up, and I'm a member of the FBAA. which is the Finance Brokers Association of Australia. It's the same as like a real estate agent or an accountant or anyone in any industry will have to be involved in some type of association. And it's good to be involved in an association because they keep us up to date with things. Training, I've got to do a certain amount of training every year. I've got to have a certain amount of points allocated for the training that I've done to keep me up to date, to keep me learning constantly. And it's a good thing to have, actually. It's good. Okay, moving on. Question 12. Is your company certified by the MFA to mentor mortgage brokers? Okay, so when I got back into the industry, I had to be mentored. Now, the reason we're mentored, I can't just go and get my cert 4 and out I go get some aggregators, do some accreditations and start writing loans. The thing is, I have to be supervised and I have to be mentored, and which I am being mentored still. I don't really need to be still mentored, but I stay involved with my mentoring group and all the things that are involved around the mentoring, which is wonderful because that keeps me in the association and the other mortgage brokers, because they're always coming up with questions that I've never thought about that. Oh, I didn't think to do it that way, which is wonderful. So, yeah, and then we have to be signed off to say we're a competent mortgage broker, which is really good. Usually, it's about 2 years under mentorship or a certain amount of loans, or when the broker feels that I'm competent and confident enough, but I still like to stay plugged in. All right, question 13. Do you provide a customer survey to all your clients so you continuously improve your service? Of course I do. I want to know if I'm doing okay. I want to know if I'm doing the right job by you. So we definitely send a survey out so that I can constantly improve on what I'm doing, that you have an opportunity also to express any of your concerns, because communication is key. Communication, particularly in this industry, conflict resolution is another very big thing. Getting finance can be very, very stressful. So conflict resolution, communication is all important. So we make sure that we're going to be transparent enough. We give you enough information and making that feel more comfortable and relatable so that you can come and ask me questions. And then we do a survey to make sure, are we on track? Are we doing the right thing? What can I improve? I'm always looking for improvement. Okay. All right. Question 14. How many lenders do you compare the loans of? Well, we just explained this one here. All right, so we have a large lender panel because of our size, professionalism, substantial number of home loans. Oh, okay, I'm just reading off the guide now, but we've got hundreds. And there's always new lenders coming on board all the time. Products getting changed, marketplace changes. So every time the marketplace is continuously changing, so are the lenders, so are their policies. So it's not about me being very good at doing calculations, how much you can service. Credit policy has to probably be the number one thing that is really, really important to understand, to know. So every lender has a different policy. You might say, hey, well, I service here, but you might not service with that bank because they might only take 80% of this, where this bank takes 90% of that, or the policy might be different here, the policy might be different there. You might be AAA client over here or a AA customer over here. I know it's a bit of jargon, but it's jargon this is the sort of things under our banner that we do, but it's just our jargon. But it doesn't mean it's jargon to you. I'm just having a relationship with you as a client and explain things to you in very much layman terms so that I can help you out with that. But yes, we do. We compare thousands of products and hundreds of different lenders out there. And even if I don't have a lender on my board and I might not be accredited with them, it doesn't stop me from trying to find another lender for you. I have a lot of referral partners in different niches that I'm not covered under, like asset property development, private funding, commercial, all those things. And I can always reach out to them, or I can also get accredited with a particular lender if you're more keen on going with those people, even if they're off our panel. All right, question 15. Does your mortgage broker regularly review your loan to ensure it is still one of the most competitively they can offer you? Oh my God. Yes, we do. Of course we do. We also, I do a very fast refi, so we can look at what loan you're in now, then see if there's something else out there. But before we even get to there, if you are a client of mine, we are always checking your loan. I do get alerts as well to make sure that if there's a better interest rate or you could save somewhere else, you don't even have to do the heavy lifting. I do a lot of that heavy lifting for you. We have a lot of really good software and tools and things like that does basically what I was telling you earlier about trial commission. This is another part of that. This is what we do. It's to make sure that you do have the right loan and that you do have a good product, so that we can definitely keep you up to date on what's going on. We also, on our emails, we're constantly emailing you as well and just keeping you in the loop on everything, particularly when the interest rates are starting to drop at the moment, or whether they're going to keep the RBA. So people do watch that, because if you have a very big loan amount and a very small portion of interest rate can make a huge difference. I've seen some of them make $300 extra a month savings. So yes, definitely. And today refinancing is really simple. They do a lot of fast refi where some of the loans could go straight from here to there, and a lot of this fast refi where the discharge happens after. So it doesn't really cost a lot of money to change lenders. There are no exit fees. The banks aren't allowed to do that anymore. It's illegal. So you're really only up for the discharge. Discharges around $250, $300. So seriously, if you're going to be saving $300 a month, it's going to cost you $300 to exit, you're in front. You're already in front. So long term, definitely. All right. Question 16. What books or articles have you published that demonstrate your expertise? Well, we have a resource page. On the website, we have what's under our blog, or under which will eventually be called resources. We have a resources page because I've got quite a lot of guides. I've got quite a lot of checklists. I've got a quick loan eligibility, basically for people who want personal loans and things like that. And I want to just find out, do a quick quiz. Where do I stand? What can I fix? Would I be able to, save them getting declined? They might go to the bank and go, I'm going to get declined. Well, what's the reason? So I have quizzes and things like that. I have a free home loan health check, which helps to see about your refinancing, which is a 15-minute discovery call. It's very fast. I also have guides. So I've got them all in the guide. Will show you all the different ones I've got, and the links to the resources page also, that you can just download any of these guides. I've got one for the first homeowner. I've got one for self-managed super fund. I've got one for home loan health check. I've got one for just if you're going to get a home loan or you're buying a home, like what's the checklist? What do I need to do? So I've got heaps of them. So I definitely make sure that I try to give as much offers as I possibly can to help you be transparent as much as I can possibly with you. All right, question 17. What if I just want another loan with my current lender? Okay, odds are that the one that you're already working with can organise your new home loan with them. Of course they can. And this happened, I've heard of this many times before. CBA is classic for this one, or XYZ, whatever, shouldn't have said that anyway, but most of them do. You have come to, say, me, and you want to do a refinance because you've got a fairly high on your interest rate. You want to see if you can do better. we find a lender that can do better for you. And sometimes we can need to go to the same lender with and get a better interest rate with the same lender, which doesn't make any sense. So what happens is, as soon as you're about to refinance with someone else, they'll go, oh, Mr. Smith, we can offer you even something a little bit better, even a 0.002%, less than that. You have to question yourself, why didn't they offer that to you before? Why didn't they not do that? So I don't know. Would you trust your mortgage broker, or would you trust your bank? You know, are you going to constantly review my loan? Is this bank going to... Because that to me says your bank is not reviewing your loan. Your bank is not passing on the better interest rate to you in the first place. To me, I don't think that's very fair. Okay. All right. Question 18. Do you charge me any fees? Well, obviously no. No, we don't charge you any fees. We get paid by the bank. Now, let me explain the commission. How the lender pays a commission is not factored into your loan. It's not a loan disbursement or anything like that. So when you get your loan with the bank, it's the loan with the bank. Now, we are paid separately the commission from the bank. So it's not coming out of your loan, and they're not charging you for that either. And the reason the banks favour, because 77% of loans written today are written through a mortgage broker. When I started back 20 years ago, only about 18% was. So that's a huge difference in 20 years, from 18% to 77% of loans today are written through a mortgage broker. It's amazing, which is great. Now, the reason the banks now favour mortgage brokers is that they have to pay a staff member to even take your inquiry. And if your loan declines or they can't help you, they've still had to pay for the staff member. But if I came through the broker channel to the same bank or same lender, making an inquiry costs them nothing. Nothing. They don't even have to pay my commission unless the loan settles with them. So it's much cheaper for the bank to use a mortgage broker. So all that money that's going to go into wages and things like that, they've saved themselves a lot of money. And, well, obviously we know how much banks make. So, so that's how that works. So just to let you know, the commission is not paid through your loan. It's paid directly from the bank to take the business over to them. All right. Question 19. Woohoo! I think we're at the end here. Do you have professional indemnity insurance? Absolutely. We can't write loans without it. So this is a professional indemnity insurance, and our shared limit of $20 million in one claim and a total of $40 million against multiple claims. So anyway, that's all on our website as well, and that's also in the credit guide. Mainly the credit guide has all these things in it in the credit guide. So if you're dealing with me, come to me. I'm Kerry Ann Simpson, local mortgage broker. If you've got any questions, please reach out. Let's have a chat and talk about some of these. Even if you just want to ask me a question, I'm quite happy to answer that. You don't even have to get the loan done with me if you don't want. I don't care. So I'm just here to help. So, and that's all I want to do. Obviously, I'd love to do your loan, but there is a guide there. It's a mortgage broker checklist. Download your guide. And want to stay in contact with me, definitely download the guide. Then I'll have some of your information, and then I can keep you in the loop. Okay, see you later. And thanks for staying to the end. Kerry Ann Simpson, local mortgage broker.